You're here for more Gintama, and that is what I'm going to deliver. Obviously, the past episode, if you haven't watched it, please go back and do, because it was pretty good. And obviously, to get full context of the story, you kind of need it. But revealing part of Gintoki's past, having someone so fundamental to his teacher disappearing, this is going to be a fun battle. Especially one that doesn't really abide by, like, samurai code. Also, if it's like I suspect, and we also see the Shogun stand up and fight back as well, I may just wet my pants. Why don't you join me? Just the rising note of the piano to accompany his shout. Obviously, it does look like they're in a bit of a dire situation, but with the intervention of the Shinsengumi, now it's an all-out assault. And hopefully the princess still being in the bushes. Someone remembers about her before the end of it. But unlike some other arcs where Gintoki is fighting for, the sake of other people, this one he has a very solid vested interest in. Like, it's very personal. And also, now that that old guy has lost both of his arms, I mean, there should be something that someone can do about it. But it's going to be slightly difficult to carry out any sort of normal duties now. But he withdrew from the situation. He senses danger. And how is that very talkative slice junkie going to react now that the Mimoragumi are back? They're just very, very bad at not causing, excess casualties. Friendly fire, just. And they will follow that duty with ruthless efficiency. That's not very nice to be calling the police. They have a fun relationship. I mean, there's too much talking going on. I mean, if there's no one around to tell what happened, how much ammo did you bring for that thing? Yeah, you might be taking things a bit far. Their plan of trying to get away by technicalities has kind of been thrown to this wind. It won't be fun that way. And as long as they put up a fight, then they're justified fighting back. That didn't take long. Is he going to have much of a hand left? You know, maybe you should have brought two, one as a distraction. You know, you might need to see a doctor about that wrist. Still holding themselves higher than everyone else around them. You know, Kentucky is still heavily pierced by those needles and coursing with paralytics. I haven't seen Doraemon. I think it would do fine if it was, though. I'm not... Hang on, he's pulled out a new gun. That one was specially just for Gintoki. Jesus. There's a lot of force with the wooden sword. Ah, he was helping. I mean, Gintoki isn't so useless now that he's able to slightly move. How long will it take for him to get back up to full... There we go. He just wanted to use him as a stepping stone. Quite a good leap. Is that the kind of thing you want to tell the elite police, though? He's like duck shooting. So the outside is covered. Here is covered as well. Are you coming along as well? I'm not sure about that. Although the first bite and the last do get, you know, pressed more priority over the others, I guess. Even who would that be? But even when you have two rivals, as the elite said, you can use each other for a shared goal. Yeah, screw any crime going around anywhere else. Someone else joining in? Who's that voice? Ah. Okay, there'd be a reason why I didn't really remember him. But of course, I should have learned as soon as the countdown, then it stops at the first number. Somehow. Wow. Good boy. I'm not sure he needed to arrive on a white steed, but and who do they obey? I think, yeah, really showing his authority and power there, and not through fear. I mean, he still hasn't finished playing the kick the can with them. And also, can you hurry and get him to the hospital or something? Good thing she grabbed him from that side, not the injured one. Yeah, having her arm removed would cause a lot of blood loss. So among all of this, taking back the castle and the country, does that come secondary to, the A plot? Ah, he takes full credit for everything. And see how his children have turned against him. Well, there is, yeah. so many yokai and whatnot based around inanimate objects gaining somewhat sentience. Apart from working for him for so long, why does he hold such loyalty to this guy? So he knows that he's backed into a corner and everything's about to come crumbling down. Do you really want to be an arse and alienating your currently only allies? When did they call for the ship? It's always good to have a backup plan. So rather than escape to relative safety, his plan is to cause even more suffering for petty gain. That is what this moron's entire life has descended to. Still believes he has the upper hand somehow. Someone's on board. And also we didn't really ever get to see one of those help with long hair. And kind of a cheap attack, but then again, with the kind of shit that he's pulled, why not? Hit him again. With a backdrop of fire. I'm sure he can hear you, Shinpachi. I mean, it's going to take quite a lot to keep him down. You've got to appreciate his spirit. They... Yeah, I'm sure they are. Has he completely, given up on trying to get out of the situation? You're not going to be able to strike him with any more. And returning the favour. And since he knows his own technique, wouldn't he want to remove them as quickly as possible? There's the piano. Did you think that was Gintoki? using his own force and people against him. Kind of good. I can't remember if this... Oh, suplex. I can't remember if this is like the first time that we've seen Gintoki pierce people through with his sword. As long as he still has a shred of consciousness, there's still fight in him. And he needs to make amends for things that happened in the past. We know how that turned out. Shattering a steel blade with his wooden sword. But aerial maneuvers like this is still fun to see, even if they are completely inhuman. Well, they've got to hit the ground at some point. Now, was it a clean end? Eh, that seems survivable. It might have taken many years, but he's at least started to fulfill one of them. But not everything was wrapped up there. So I'm guessing the next episode is either going to be the full one, being a summation of this storyline, or something that Gintama has done before. First 5 minutes, quick wrap up, and then, I don't know, back to high school, you know, those dumb storylines. But also for a fight where it's bringing all the police together and whatnot, and about the teacher. You'd kind of think that all the other student samurais, you know, the main ones, would make an appearance for wrapping all that up. I am very hesitant about the return of Kakura's brother. It's out when it's out. Release schedules are really up to a whim, aren't they? And there really is a stark difference, isn't there? One who controls through power, fear, and then the Shogun, who legitimately brings people together who want to aid him. And also standing atop his tower, well away from the fight, compared to good boy Shogun on the front line, donned in armour, talking to the aggressors and the criminal scum. But as we saw, the story continues for another episode. But at least I think everyone is going to walk away with most of their fingers, except for the Grand P. With the amount of damage done to the castle there, even if you do overthrow that nasty old man, the repair fees are going to be quite high. Is the Shogun going to need somewhere else to live while they do those renovations? I can think of a certain place above a bar that could have some fun stories. But also, now that all this has gone down, is there the possibility of the princess being allowed out once in a while? You know, considering her friends have literally came to the castle to throw in a bush. But we did get to see more serious Gintoki, which you know is going to be excellent. So if you enjoyed it, let me know. Especially some of those particularly unordinary aerial attacks using the split halves of your sword. Leave a like and a comment down below if you think I deserved it. Subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss out what's coming up in the future. Check out the links, maybe even join my Discord, who knows? Possibilities are not quite infinite. But get some rest. See you in the next one. If you want to show your influence and join the ranks that help run the country that is my channel, consider joining onto my Patreon, because without the likes of Sal, Electric Ant, Arthea, Noku, Raywin, Shiwan, Mecha, Jennifer Rojas, Stinsfire, Big Boy, Mats, Francis Paulson, Girly, Dark Shadow 7899, Kite, Soultron, Maurizio Lozano, and everyone else, I would still be floundering away at the bottom, instead of doing moderately okay.